the southwest Nigeria is no longer safe. Look at the teachers when they kidnapped last week. They don't behead one of the teachers' head. They don't behead. Look at the man. Now in picture be that. The governor confirm him. The governor of Oyo State, the guy confirm him. They don't behead the man. See, when Nnamdi Kanu they talk these things some years ago, people say a lie, they lie. That's why they talk to the Nigerian government. They should just go and bring that guy out. I think that guy, when they call Nnamdi Kanu, that guy understands the Nigerian security better than any other person. The guy knows the secret of Nigeria. They should go and bring that guy out. The guy on, because this guy has been saying it. Nnamdi Kanu has been saying it, that those bad guys, those terrorists, he said in the southwest will not believe him. Nobody accept that. Nobody agree. Nobody believe. But today, what is going on? What is going on all over the southwest Nigeria now? These guys, they don't take over. The bad guys, the Jaguda guys, the Al-Qaeda, the ISIS, they don't take over. They are there, they are operating. Nigeria is in a deep mess. That's why I said that the Nigerian government, let them go and bring in Nnamdi Kanu. There was a time in the Bible when Joseph, the dreamer, when he interpreted the dream in the prison, and those guys got their freedom. But when they went out, they forgot about it. But when they had problem, they said, no, there is someone that were able to interpret dream. And so Nnamdi Kanu already saw something. And now Nnamdi Kanu now is in the prison. So if I be Nigerian government, I will go and bring in Nnamdi Kanu. That was what happened in the Bible. Joseph was a man of vision. Joseph was a man that saw tomorrow. So when they had problem in that land, in the land of Egypt, they were looking for the person that will be able to solve that problem. They said, no, there was a man that saw tomorrow. There was a man that I dreamt and I told the man, and the man was able to interpret the dream, and the dream came to pass. They said, no, let's go and bring that man. That was how they went and they brought in Joseph, and Joseph gave an accurate interpretation, and Joseph became a prime minister, and Joseph changed the land of Egypt. So if Nigeria wants success, they should go and get Nnamdi Kanu out, because all these things that we are experiencing today now, he saw it. Nnamdi Kanu said, he said there is already terrorists, there is already bandit in the western Nigeria, in the southwest Nigeria, in the Yoruba land. People no believe, nobody agree. But today, hey, look at it, look at it. Teachers, when they go adopt, when these bad guys, these Jaguda guys, when they kidnap last week, they don't behead one of the teacher head. Now the man picture be this, the governor of Oyo State, Makinde, he don't confirm him. He don't confirm him. So what I'm saying is that if Nigeria needs to get the thing right, they should go and bring in that they can bring the guy out, because that guy understands Nigerian system. The guy understands Nigerians, security. The guy knows everything about Nigeria. Now the guy now see what did happen and the thing come to pass. Go and bring the guy. Let the guy solve the problem for you guys. Then, oh my God, see, this thing has nothing to do with tribal. When you have problem, you don't look into tribal, or this person is from Hausa, this person is from Fulani, this person is from this person is an Igbo man, this person is from Igbo. No, we are looking for solution. So this person saw it and now is manifesting. Everything he said is coming to pass. Go and bring him. Let him come and solve the problem. Nigeria is bleeding. There is a very big problem in the country. Nobody seems to understand how to solve the problem. But a man that saw it, that said this is what is going to happen, or go and bring the man, let the man solve the problem. Go and bring in Nnamdi Kanu, let him solve the problem. Because look at what is going on. Look at what is going on. Terrorists don't take over the places. Terrorists all over the places. They're there everywhere. They kidnap, they buy people. In the southwest Nigeria, a place that used to be very secure, the most peaceful region in Nigeria, today look at it. Look at it. They behead the man. They cut the man head off. Yeah, people.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so this is real talk. This is not your typical social media rant. This is real talk. And so at this stage, I sincerely, from the very bottom of my heart, I sincerely feel and believe that the most righteous thing to do right now is for the president of Nigeria to throw in the towel immediately and have a nationwide broadcast and tell Nigerians that he is sorry. He is sorry that he has failed woefully at protecting the lives and properties of Nigerians, which he swore he took an oath to protect on that day. I don't want to speak out of anger, because sometimes when we really get very angry, we kind of miss things. I want common common sense to replace anger in me now, because the anger that I feel is a bit too explosive. So I am replacing it with common sense. And the common sense is to the current regime in Nigeria. Listen, the next closest redemptive act that could ever follow Nigeria right now is changing this regime in 2027 and replacing it with a regime that has got conscience and that has got a human face and a human soul. But that is almost now beginning to look a little bit too distant. And that is why I think that the best thing now is to start early. Throw in the towel. Let's negotiate an interim government. Let's have a conversation. The regions need to gather now. What we have witnessed so far in Nigeria, to me, is tantamount to the absence of government. Literally, what is happening in Nigeria, it just shows, practically speaking, if we have to tell ourselves the truth, it shows that there is really no presence of. Listen, no matter what you do as a government or political leadership in any nation, the moment the ability to protect your citizens slips from your hands, you are no longer in existence. Point, there's no two ways about that. You don't exist anymore. And so, as far as Nigerians are concerned right now, the Tinubu regime has wound up already. You are no longer in existence. So why are we still using the names of Nigerians to borrow more money? You are literally doing nothing with this money that you're borrowing. I agree with people who say you borrow this for your cronies. Because what is the money doing? The security votes that you guys dole out every year in millions of dollars, what are they doing? Or your state? Or your state? That's next door to Lagos. In no time, I have been sounding this alarm for months now. In no time, it's going to be Lagos. And with the body language we have seen from this regime, it will come to Lagos and nothing will still happen. Has anyone else noticed, or is it just me, that everywhere the terrorists land or show up in Nigeria, they announce their presence and they never get to leave? Nobody bothers them. You don't bother them. They will say, we are here now. When they announced Kwara, I told everybody, you see, they're going to take over in Kwara and nobody will do anything. The next thing that happens, the communities around the area they have taken over would then begin to run away from their own ancestral homelands, and the government of the day keeps showing us, oh, we're fighting, we're doing something. Everywhere terrorists land in Nigeria, they never leave. They kill, they maim, they abduct hundreds of people, hundreds of Christians, and even some moderate Muslims. They get them and they march them deep into the forests. Guess what? The journey to the forests sometimes take them more than a week. They travel on foot, day and night. But the giant of Africa is not able to detect them. But the giant of Africa has an air force, has ground troops who make excuses for the terrorists. terrorists. When a man in uniform will be telling the media that the terrorists are like prodigal sons who deserve mercy, it is a curse. This regime is a... You know, Bola Tinubu, you were warned that your Lagos politics will fail in Abuja. You didn't listen. It has not just failed, it has failed woefully. And you still are holding on. What are you holding on to? Why are you people talking politics when the nation has shut down? Ogbomosho in Oyo State, you are a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man. Are Ona Kakanfo Gani Adams was live on TV, national television, telling the whole world that we have it on good authority that the whole forest in Yoruba land has been invaded. Nobody made... When years ago, when Buhari was in power, the news came that the terrorists were flooding a forest reserve in Ogun State. Nobody made when. It was almost as if, oh, you guys keep quiet. These are our brothers from other mothers who are coming home because it's not IPOB. Imagine if the news was that IPOB had taken a location in Ogun State. The whole nation would be set on fire. It wasn't IPOB. Ogun State is the home state of Omotosho, the man who sentenced Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment for saying that terrorists will not come and attack my own people. Are you seeing it? Yoruba president, Yoruba justice who sentenced Nnamdi Kanu. Look at your hometown. How is it possible that you, from the southern part of Nigeria, terrorism came under your regime and became 10 million times worse than when Buhari himself, who started the operation Safe Corridor that pardons terrorists, than when he was in power? Because you are a tool, allowing the colonials to let you become an enemy to your own people. You let them play you like a card against your own people. Innocent blood poured out every day. Look at that, from Kwara to Oyo, from Oyo, Ogun State. And when Ona Kakanfo was talking about Yoruba, he gave names of the states that they have invaded. He mentioned Oyo. He mentioned Ekiti. He mentioned Ogun State. He mentioned Ondo. And he mentioned Lagos. I posted the video. It's out there. How is it that these guys are saying this and you people don't do anything? You are giving Nigerians the impression that terrorists are invincible and cannot be conquered. It's a bloody lie. We saw what happened in Mali just a few weeks ago. Over 12,000 terrorists invaded at once, and the colonial demons who fund and sponsor these wicked animals, vampires, were gloating over the fact, the prospect of Mali being invaded, the prospect that Mali is going to now cave and fall to the terrorists. And I told them never. And indeed, God answered. Mali's farmer, the military, and their Russian counterparts, the Africa Corps, they killed the terrorists like chickens. The ones who didn't die were hiding or on their way out of the country running. Even when they ran into Mauritania, the neighboring country, they pursued them there and killed them. This is how you deal with demons. In Nigeria, they pamper them, they give them a slap on the wrist, and they tell us that these are our brothers. Enough is enough.
I'm going to go back a little bit in history. But let me start from now. Al-Banawi, this is a news headline from this newspaper. Al-Banawi appointed ISIS West Africa Province Boko Haram leader, arrested the commanders loyal to Let Shakao. Are you following me now? the same al-Banawi, the son of Muhammad Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram, the person that Muhammad Buhari groomed personally to say, since your father is no more, you can take over Boko Haram. And Shekau said, no, they will not relinquish power. Then, this happened in 2015. Are you listening to me? In 2015. Now, al-Banawi was released from prison. Go back to the old preachings I made on this very boy. I met him at John Tozo's court in Abuja. He was released by the Chief Justice of the Federal High Court now, John Tozo, that they wanted to use to jail me, and I told the idiot, you cannot jail me, you're a fool. It was John Tozo, the present Chief Justice of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, that released this terrorist, this killer of ISIS. This is ISIS we're talking about, you know. I have their facts and figures. Now, the Islamic State, ISIS, West Africa province, under the new leadership of Abu Musad al-Banawi, has taken over all territories under the control of the late Abubakar Shekau in a major revenge onslaught against the farmer, because when he grew up, he became of age. Buhari pushed him to go and take over his father's mantle. Shekau said no. This was the revenge. And how was it possible that Shekau was ambushed? Because Shekau attended a peace meeting called by Ibrahim Atahiru, the dead chief of army staff. And what I'm giving you is facts. I don't have time for rubbish. We have the very, of course, maybe apart from Mossad, we have the very finest intelligence in the world. I'm telling you this, the M branch. How was it possible that Shekau was surrounded? Because they wanted the continuation of that very meeting. I told you this thing many years ago. They called a meeting, they sat together, and they said to Shekau, stop attacking mosques and Muslims. Go to the south, go to the east and take it. And Shekau said, no, we cannot take the east. I want to give you one explanation that I've never told you people before. I was very, very close to Boko Haram leadership. Are you aware of that? Very, very close to them. They told me a lot of things. Boko Haram leadership told me, I wanted the name of the person, told me in confidence, the person was being held at Ikoyi prison. I was in Kuje, because I was instrumental in making sure that people who are not guilty are released from prison, regardless if you call them terrorists, Boko Haram or not. So they loved me very much. I'm being honest with you. They were very close to me, and they told me something. Shekau told Buhari, you cannot take the east. That the east cannot be taken. Buhari said, okay. When he was alive, Buhari now said, okay, if that is the case, I'm going to divide the organization. How do you think that Shekau knew that Buhari had died? That was why he called the idiot, the little boy that parading, Yusuf Abubakar Muhammad. He knows his name. Shekau knows Buhari is dead. Go and watch, I think it was his last video he made. They called for a peace meeting so they can plan on how they're going to push to the east to take the whole of Nigeria by next year. That was, I told you before, that was a timetable. That is why this slaughter is going on now in Niger State, in Benue State, and some parts of Kogi. They're entering Kogi. Maybe around October they'll be in Kogi. And by then, when I ask you to make reference to this broadcast, you say, oh, he said it. How many times did I tell you about al-Banawi, the son of the late founder of Boko Haram? How many times did I tell you? Did I not tell you they were working with this Buhari government before Buhari died? If not, why would the government go and align with ISIS in order to defeat Boko Haram? You see what I'm saying about common sense? Common sense. You need to be able to reason. You know, in those days when you're small, if you're misbehaving, you have visitors in the house. Once your stupidity takes you into the living room and your mom looks at you, you will know. She will convey a message to you immediately. You take out your useless self from the place. Your mother will look at you, only looking at you. You will know your mom wants you to go and bring a plate, or to go and wash your plate, or to go and have a shower, or to go and take something and eat. But she will not say anything. She will only look at you. You understand the message she's trying to convey. And that is why when your child is you say, "What I cry, my issue." You don't have to say anything. Do you remember when I told you that ISIS and Buhari regime, APC, that they are one. Did you believe me? You didn't. Of course, in this UG, you're black. How can you believe fact when you say it? If we had been able to reason properly, do you think Africa would be as poor as it is today? Of course not. It's because we cannot reason. I told you that they are part and parcel. They are in this game together. Buhari wants an attack on the east. He doesn't want the army to do it or the police to do it. He wants to use terrorists to do it. And ISIS was the perfect people to do this very job. I told you this many years ago. Do you know that today, surprise, surprise, Nigeria government is partnering with ISIS to defeat Boko Haram? I received message in the spirit. And when I want to preach it, something will tell me, I will say, why won't I preach it? After a while, it comes to pass. You will see the facts and evidence before you. How can any sensible government anywhere in the world partner with a terrorist group, the #1 frontline terror group in the world, to defeat another terror group? Where has that ever been done before? That was what killed Ibrahim Atahiru. Are you aware of that? He was the one that masterminded it because he was a failure in Borno when he went to fight Shekau. Shekau defeated him. So he was very desperate to redeem his name. So he went to ISIS and gave ISIS a deal. We're not going to attack you. That is why they call them, they changed their name from terrorists to bandits. So ISIS can do whatever they like. No police will arrest them. No army will arrest them. No bombardment. Sheikh Gumi can go and negotiate with them. Nothing will happen to them. The key was to make them numerically stronger than Boko Haram, to make them the acceptable face of Islam, Fulani Islamic terrorism. And he succeeded. I know that Shekau was injured. He wasn't killed. He was injured. That's why they cannot display his body. He was injured. He was not killed. But I'm coming to that in a minute. The gospel from heaven. That's what I'm giving you. And they know in Asrock now they're shaking. Oh, how did he know? He has come again. I thought he was no longer going to broadcast. I know all these things. There is nothing we don't know. We know everything. That is why we managed to defeat Mietiala. With the little meager resources, we defeated them because we know what they do not know. If I want all the governors dead in one night, they will all be dead. But I don't want them dead. At least not yet. Now listen. Do you know that Ibrahim Atahiru wanted to capture Shekau alive? Are you aware of that? So you can interrogate him and ask him, how come you're getting all this support? Because they know he's in Sambisa forest. Nigeria army has enough men and equipment to circle Sambisa forest and to engage from all sides. But most of the people in the military hierarchy of the zoo, they are Boko Haram sympathizers, almost all of them. Another lesson for the Fulefus and the intellectual brigade to learn from, because the Fulanis don't kill their own. Never. They understand that these are the foot soldiers we need in the future to fight this very war to dip the Quran in the Atlantic. Buhari knew that very, very clearly. That was why Buhari was so disappointed with Shekau that when they swore him as the president, Shekau continued. He didn't stop. That was Buhari's major disappointment with Boko Haram. They were his babies now. Who doesn't know that? And Ibrahim Atahiru, that died a few days ago, took billions upon billions of dollars to ISIS, to al-Banawi, and said to him, Abu Musa al-Banawi, take this very money, make it possible. I am going to strengthen you. You're going to be the face of Fulani terrorism in Nigeria. And he accepted it. And now they called Shekau to a meeting. At that very meeting, Shekau was attacked. That was what happened. And in revenge for the attack on Shekau, they brought down the plane. Because two people parachuted from that very plane before it crashed. They opened the door to decompress it. It's called decompression. That's that thing they tell you in the plane. When, in case of cabin pressure, loss of cabin pressure, pull this mask and put it on your face, you get oxygen. You remember that drill they give you every time you fly? These two assassins were in the aircraft and they jumped with a parachute. They're in the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force. These are the same people that they are putting, Boko Haram, they painted Boko Haram in the army. They are the ones that killed him for attempting to sabotage Shekau. And their new commander now is very, very mean. I'm telling you, even deadlier than Shekau. The new guy is, oh my word, very mean. And they now have war on their hands. I'm telling you. Do you know that the Nigerian army, do you know that Ibrahim Atahiru confessed that the Nigerian army doesn't have the strength to fight Boko Haram? That was why he brought in ISIS to do the job for him. Are you aware of that? That was why, so that there can be a leadership tussle. You know that thing they try to do with IPOB? You know, anybody we sack or expel, they bring him, he's IPOB after 1 month, he just died natural death, of course. Because Elohim is in charge of everything we're doing. You know that the ISIS leadership and Boko Haram, they've been fighting the supremacy war. I've been telling you about this for very many years. Who will take over? And finally, they have tried to do what they can to silence Shekau because Buhari was not happy before he died. And all this Fulani Caliphate, including the Sultan, nobody's happy. They want Shekau to face the East. Their problem is to take the East. When Shekau said no, Buhari, before he died, they told him about Ruga. He wants Ruga. Fulani settlement in every community, in every local government across Nigeria. When we said no, he said, okay. He now asked Mietiala to take over. That was how Mietiala was killing people. Now they know that Mietiala can no longer do the job. They now contracted ISIS to do it. That's your one Nigeria for you. Obasanjo, are you listening? One Nigerianist. Let me tell you something. Boko Haram will not stop. And the fear of the Nigerian army is that they cannot fight this war on two fronts. So it is better for them to get ISIS to do the job, ISIS that they can trust and rely upon to begin the killing, the terrorism, sacking villages in TV land, taking over, Nupe land, doing all of these things. That's what they prefer. And then they can now move the Nigerian army to come to the east to meet us. That was their plan. That's their game plan. They wanted to do this deal with Chad. Unfortunately, Idris Dabi died. That was the deal. Let the Chadian and the Niger troops come in to help them to stabilize the north, while the main bulk of the Nigerian army will march with their tanks to the east. That's the game plan. The whole thing has fallen apart because there is no Buhari anymore. And ISIS is now in charge of your lives. Boko Haram may pity you a little bit. ISIS, they have no pity whatsoever. No pity whatsoever. They can bring in as many armored cars as they like. Only one landmine will destroy it, disable it, to park by the roadside. Do you understand me? This is 2021, not 1967. They must understand this, that we are going. It doesn't matter. What are they going to do? Nothing. The same way we defeated Mietiala terrorist group and they brought in the army and police, we are going to defeat them. After that, they'll start bombing us from the air. Then after that, they'll give up. For you to be free, you need to be stubborn to a fault. And I want to show Fulani Janjaweedism what stubbornness is all about. They're not stubborn. I want to prove it to them. Their children will talk about us. Fulani kids, in years to come, they will sing folklore with our names. They will say they never knew that such people existed. If you think that by putting the lives of people on them and we care Dave Umahi in political office that is going to retire us, you are dreaming. We are unstoppable. That's why I said, before we came, there was nothing like us. Now we are here. Nobody can attempt half of what we're doing. And when we are gone, you will pray and cry that we live forever. I'm telling you. They don't know what's... You don't know what is going to hit you. They have no idea. Anybody telling me that Nigeria will survive in this present format, I'm telling you, I can bet you anything in the world. I will bet money against you that the zoo will fall. It's only coronavirus that saved them. Only coronavirus is still holding them. Very, very soon, That is the reason why APC political leaders in Yoruba land met together and said, we support the position of the southern governors to ban open grazing and movement of cattle by land. Tinubu, Gbajabiamila, Sanwo-Olu, and other Southwest APC leaders support southern governors ban on open grazing, condemn separate. Of course, that is given. Everybody's making money, but I want to condemn it. I want to condemn it. You see a very ugly old man with pot belly spilling over even his knees. He cannot get up in the morning. He can get up one day and go and marry or decide to marry an 18-year-old fresh graduate because of hardship, because there's no electricity. The economy cannot grow. I want to tell you something. You see, those of you who are in the West, ask anybody who is in Europe or somewhere in North America. Before you get a woman, you have to buy flour, you have to buy chocolate, you have to talk, convince, you have to look decent and presentable. But in poverty-stricken Africa, all you need to do is to have money. Because a girl needs to do her hair, she needs to buy makeup, she needs to do this, she needs to change her underwear and all the rest of it. So she needs money. Regardless, there must be money. Money must change hands, whether you like it or not. Because there are no jobs to go to. They become very desperate. Do you know when I discovered this very thing? It was as far back as 2005. I kept researching one day I kept asking myself, why is there no electricity, constant supply of electricity? It then dawned on me that the Fulanese did it that way deliberately in order to make life very, very cheap. Do you know that if you supply electricity 24 hours a day, people will not give a damn about the government. People will be creative enough to make something for themselves. Now they had to impoverish everybody. That is why I hate Obasanjo when he's doing preaching. It is his sanctimonious rubbish. Obasanjo destroyed the stockfish market in Aba, destroyed Okreka market second-hand clothing. Obasanjo destroyed the glass factory in Aba. By a stroke of the pen, Obasanjo you're looking at, very evil man. Evil man, I'm telling you, evil upon evil. Ask Obasanjo who stopped second-hand clothing market in Aba. Ask Obasanjo. It's a very simple question. He will tell you it's him that stopped it. Now, Tinubu, all the APC people from Yoruba land, they met together and said, we support the southern governors, what they have done by banning movement of cattle on foot from place to place. Is that not correct? Yes, it is. Wait for it. Today, 24th of May, a statement was issued by Asarok. Not by Buhari himself, but by his Garba. And Buhari is alive inside Asarok. 17 governors met from the south, something of national importance. He could not address any of you. Once again, Garba. And they're telling me that Buhari is alive. Garba Shehu, presidential spokesman, in a statement recalled Buhari approving measures. What they're trying to say is that Buhari is not happy. Buhari moves against killer headsmen, says open grazing ban illegal. Buhari, a president of Nigeria in a democratic dispensation, is telling you that banning open grazing is illegal because they rely on their cattle to do the men attack for them. That is their justification for entering into your farm. For them to come into your land, they need the cattle. To say, oh, we are grazing. Do you understand their trick? That is why, by all means, by every means, they need their cattle with them at all times. Do you know that somebody who calls himself a president is saying open grazing ban is illegal? I want to prove to the whole world tonight that your average Fulani Janjaweed is a bundle of idiocy. I also want to prove to the world tonight that Nigeria doesn't have educated people. You see, there's a senior advocate talking rubbish. All of them, none of them is educated enough to understand what it means to adhere to the rule of law. You know, when you hear Malami, when you hear Garabashe, they say, rule of law, they don't know the meaning of it. Do you know that the justices you have in Nigeria, the senior advocates in Nigeria, they don't even know the meaning of the rule of law? Because it's in English. It's an English phrase. Because they are not English people, because they are not versed in the nuances of English language. They don't know what it means. I'm telling you, if you like, go to your professor of law tomorrow and say to professor of law tomorrow in any university in Nigeria, what is the meaning of the rule of law? He doesn't know what it means. But this night I'm going to teach you for free. So tomorrow when you go to your lecture hall, you'll be able to pose in front of the others about what rule of law means. I now want to tell you that this present regime, this is present terrorist bandit regime you have in Asorok, Fulani Caliphate, Cabal. They don't know the meaning of the rule of law because they are all quota graduates. They're not educated people. Why do I say what I'm saying? Rule of law means, what does rule of law mean? It means following a precedent by law. That is why anywhere you go in the world, if you have a case, that is why they said, Akledolu versus Ondo State, or Ondo State versus water resources, or Brown versus white. Why do you think when you get to court, maybe your lawyer is preparing a brief, they cite all these cases? Is to let the judge understand that this case has come before a court before, and this was the determination. And given that this determination was reached in the past, I expect you to follow the rule of law and reach the same determination because both cases are the same. Precedent in law, rule of law. I'm now trying to teach you something they will never teach you in your university because you're in a zoo. It is called precedent. Not president, precedent. P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. Precedent in law. That is the meaning of the rule of law, where law holds supreme. Not the dictates of man, but law itself. What do I mean by that? Let us go to Cornell Law School. Where people are learned, not zoo schools. To understand what precedent means, before I now tell you why the entire Fulani presidency is a bloody joke because they are ill-educated. I want to prove to the world that Nigerians are not educated. And forget your son, he's an advocate, a PhD. These are a bunch of idiots. They know nothing. Precedent refers to a court decision that is considered as authority for deciding subsequent cases involving identical or similar facts or similar legal issues. Precedent is incorporated into the doctrine of stare decisis and requires courts to apply the law in the same manner to every case with the same facts. It means anytime you steal my goat and somebody is found guilty of that, stealing of my goat, anytime somebody else's goat is stolen, my case will be cited as Nnamdi Kanu versus goat stealer. Do you understand? To let the judge understand that similar thing happened in the past, and this was the decision reached by this honorable judge or right honorable judge. I therefore ask you to adopt the decision of that very court. Simple. Law, Makopano, law is very good. I must tell you this. I don't even know why I didn't study law anymore. My goodness. Do you know that this very precedent is elementary law in every school all over the world? Even the lawyers in Nigeria, they practice it, but they don't know the meaning of it. Why am I saying what I'm saying? You have somebody called the Attorney General of the Federation who should have guided whoever they are calling Buhari not to make such a stupid utterance that open grazing is ban on open grazing is illegal, because it is not. It is a law. It is a precedent law. Precedent, not president. Precedent law. P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T. Because a man called Justice Adewale Thompson banned open grazing on the 17th of April 1969 and warned of unprovoked killings by Fulani headsmen in 1969 at the height of the war of Biafra, or war against Biafra. A precedent law was made by Honorable Justice Adewale Thompson. He banned open grazing in Nigeria according to the doctrine of stare decisis. It means that anytime you have a case involving Fulani headsmen and anybody, the pronouncement of Honorable Justice Adewale Thompson must hold sway. That is the meaning of the rule of law. People need to pay me. People are going to pay. Because what I'm teaching you, you can never learn in any zoo school, forever and ever. It is called stare decisis. It means, I will spell it for you. S-T-A-R-E is Latin. S-T-A-R-E-D-E-C-I-S-I-S. Stare decisis. My goodness. It is called, it promotes the even-handed, predictable, and consistent development of legal principles. It fosters reliance on judicial decisions and contributes to the actual and perceived integrity of the judicial process. Therefore, if Thompson in 1969 can ban open grazing, any other judge overturning it goes contrary to this very rule. You are not maintaining judicial consistency. Are you going to pay me enough for this? I'm preaching the gospel of heaven. Now you understand from your AGF, AGM, TTM, AF, all of them are useless. They don't even understand law. Their own laws, they don't know. Their own laws. Because if you are a student of law, there is something called precedent. Every court decision is considered as authority for deciding every similar case. Since Adewale Thompson has said it in 1969, it must, as long as Nigeria remains one, practices the same legal system. What Adewale Thompson said in 1969 is the law of the land. There is no open grazing in Nigeria. Fulani people have been disobeying the law since 1969. And these are the people you want to be in the same country with? These are the same people you want to be in the same country with. Is that what you're telling me? Of course not. Absolutely not. And we're not going to have it. They don't even know the law that they when you go to school, go to ABU, about the university, you come out with the lowest score and you become the Attorney General of the Federation. I mean, no one can blame you. No one can blame you. And why are they doing this to us? You may ask yourselves, why are they doing this to us? Because they hate us. But that is a program for another day. I am going to preach it. Maybe in the next 2 days, I'll preach it. But this evening, I don't want to overburden you with too many facts and figures. I don't want to overburden you with too many, should I say, theories and as to how things are supposed to work. Let me tell you how Biafra will be different. You see, in Biafra, oh dear me, everybody from nursery school will I'm going to